This story is my personal encounter with shadow men that were evil. Enjoy. I am Mo, and this is my encounters with shadow men. When I was young, I would start hearing whispers. The whispers would consist of my actual name, someone calling for me, in distorted male voices. Every time I come up to my parents about this, they thought it was my imagination and to not think much of it, so I believed them. And in doing so, my life would go down a spiral of bad things. For a few years after telling them, the voices would turn to illusions. I would see a glimpse of a person peeking out of a corner and disappear in an instant. When I mentioned that, that's when my parents thought something was going on. So we went to see someone to figure out what was wrong, but we still came up with nothing. Then a year goes by, nothing major happens. So we thought maybe it's over. And oh boy, were we wrong. Because a few years later, the voices came back and the visions became worse day after day. We saw a psychiatrist or psychologist and we did tests, and it said I had schizophrenia, so I was diagnosed with it. But a week later, it got worse. I saw a figure in my sleep. It was a 9-foot-tall, horned figure, eyes red as blood and teeth sharp as a knife. It said, 2 months. Then it was gone. I did not know what that meant, but I just accepted it. Then 2 months later, I would see him again, but this time there was 5 more. They called themselves the Shadow People. Ever since then, I kept hearing voices to commit self-deletion and physical harm to others. That went on for 10 years, but then I got help, got better. I have not heard any voices or seen them since, but the question lingers: what would have happened to me if I didn't get the help I needed? And what would have happened if they won? I ask myself those questions to this very day, until he came back. When I was out on my usual walk at night, I kept hearing this voice, but I thought it was just the wind, so I ignored it. But then I saw their red eyes in a field not too far from my destination, and I froze. The voice in the eyes, it was him. It had to be him. So that means he never left. He was always there waiting and watching. I can never fully leave him. It's impossible. And then I hear these words: "Let me in." And then I bolted as far as my legs can run. I never look back, but no matter how far I go, no matter how long it is quiet, he is always there, waiting for his next opportunity to strike.